Always a better choice. My one and only station.
DBS Radio. Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, relief is coming soon for residents of the East as 2 water projects worth $16 million are underway in Castlebrooks and Grand Fort. In the news from the region, Jamaica Constabulary Force says investigation continues into bomb threats and telecom vandalism on election days. Internationally, World Trade Organization chief finds hope in U.S. President Donald Trump's trade disruption as a chance for re-globalization. The details of these stories and more are coming up next.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life is pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep this going. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow. DBS News.
And welcome back. A special good evening to our listeners of Acoustic Worship Radio. First off, releases coming soon for residents of the East as 2 water projects worth $16 million are underway in Castlebrooks and Grand Fort. The water sector strategic development project will greatly enhance the infrastructure to provide a reliable water supply for the communities. Minister of State in the Ministry of Public Works and Public Utilities, Shakira Lockhart-Hippolyte, led a site visit to the projects with a first stop at Grand Fort.
$8.5 million circulating in Grand Fort. What does that mean for the people of Grand Fort and the Grand Fort constituency? It means that people are employed, contractors have been engaged, they have been engaged in the fusing and the laying of pipeworks. Access had to be created to the new intake. We will be upgrading this current intake that was damaged in 2012. A new sedimentation tank will be built. I believe that what I have seen so far is nothing short of remarkable. We envision that the project will end in March. I have the WASCO on their toes. I told Mr. Etinov that we'll be meeting periodically because, as I said to him, what the monies that we have invested in this project, we have to ensure that we stick to the plan. We stick to the plan and we bring good, portable, pipe-borne water to the people of Grand Forks, Montjon, and Rivière-Syriac. As I always say to people, bringing water, portable water to their homes is extremely costly. I don't think the people of Dominica understand the amount of work involved in bringing water to them. The staff of the WASCO have to traverse through the mountains, the hills, and the valleys.
And that was the Minister of State in the Ministry of Public Works and Public Utilities, Shakira Lockhart-Hippolyte. Parliamentary Representative for Grand Forks, Greta Roberts, says the projects to develop the water supply system are extensive and will impact the communities in a positive manner.
I am so happy that I took that trip to come up towards the intake, because honestly, I have seen and have learned to appreciate the work that is being done to bring water to the homes of people. I could not believe that this has to be done up there, because every time it rains, the caretaker would tell us that we cannot get water because the pipe was washed away. Today I'm seeing it for my first time. And believe you me, the task to get up there and to replace that pipe when it is washed away, this we should be grateful for. So the constituents of Montjon, Rivière-Syriac, and Grand Forks should be happy, should feel blessed that today we are looking at the project to bring potable water to our homes without any difficulty when it is ended in 2026 in May. This $8 million project, $8.5 million project, I want to thank the government of Dominica. I want to thank the Caribbean Development Bank. I want to thank the European Union, all those who helped to make this possible. It is indeed a task. And today for me is a red letter day, because I have seen the works of the WASCO, of the government, and I want to say thank you. I also want to thank you because it has brought a lot of economic activity to the area. If you notice, you saw a lot of young guys on the road. It's a pleasure for them to be on the road because they are making money.
And that was a parliamentary representative for Grand Forks, Greta Roberts. Meantime, the Casabras water supply system is being developed at a cost of $7.5 million.
And today we are here to witness what has taken place so far. The construction of a 200,000 gallon storage tank, and that would be the largest storage tank for the project. And a new intake, distribution lines, the laying of pipelines and pipes. And I know that the people of Casabras would be very pleased, because I constantly hear the complaints from the residents and the PAL rep, who called me probably every week or every 2 weeks to complain of not having water. And surely this will improve the consistency of the water supplied to the Casabras constituency. What I've seen so far is I think they have done a tremendous job. Within the past 2 weeks, a lot of pipes have been fused and laid. And so we're hoping that the project would end by March 2026. And I just want to commend the hardworking staff of the WASCO for the work that they have done, Mr. Magnus Williams, the project team lead, and all the engineers and the people of Casabras who are also engaged on this project.
And that was Minister Shakira Lockhart-Hippolyte. CEO of Discover Dominica Authority and Director of Tourism, Marva Williams, says the World Creole Music Festival is projected to benefit every sector of the Dominican economy. The government of Dominica, which is the main sponsor of the World Creole Music Festival, has injected over $13 million into this year's festival. Williams made these comments during the Creole Heartbeat program hosted by Leroy Wadix-Charles on DBS Radio this morning.
Investment in the festival this year is a little over 13 million. It is a very expensive undertaking, but it is worthwhile. When we look at the economic impact as it relates to festivals in Dominica, and more so the World Queer Music Festival, and recent studies that were done, that amount of investment in the World Queer Music Festival, it's gonna circulate, and for each dollar you're going to get 9 times return, because who is benefiting from that circulation? Not only the major airlines or the ferries, but you have the people from Dominica, the taxi drivers, the vendors, the hairdressers, you know, the restaurants, those who sell little merchandise. These are the people, the vendors within the stadium as well, the service providers who were engaging to help us put together that event, because the small team at DFC, they cannot do it alone. You have to engage, you know, other individuals to help with production, stage management. All these individuals are the ones benefiting from that investment.
And that was the CEO of Discover Dominica Authority and Director of Tourism, Marva Williams. The headline artist for the 25th edition of the World Queer Music Festival is King of Dancehall Vibes Cartel. The event will take place from October 24th to the 26th at the Winter Park Sports Stadium. Deputy Resident Representative for the United Nations Development Programme, Stephanie Zybel, says the handing over of ICT equipment to the police will modernize the operation of the Dominica Police Force. The equipment, which was presented to the police this afternoon, will go towards a pilot project for a police records management information system.
But I think it is a very concrete way to express our support and our engagement alongside the police in Dominica, and our efforts to support the digitalization and the streamlining of the judicial system, and supporting the further development of the National Police here in Dominica as well as across the sub-region. So please take this as a symbol of our partnership and our trusted engagement alongside you. And we hope to be able to continue to do this into the future, and to ensure that whatever engagements we have as UNDP in Dominica are synergetic with our efforts here with the police, so as to help you achieve your national priorities and goals.
Stephanie Zybel of the United Nations Development Project. Minister for National Security, Ribbon Blackmore, says the ICT equipment from the United Nations Development Programme is timely.
And it's consistent with the government of Dominica's policy to work towards ensuring that the Dominica Police Force becomes one, more professional and more productive. I'm very much elated by this project, although it's a pilot project, but what is seek to actually achieve insofar as the mandate of the police is concerned. And from my understanding, of course, you also have not only the hardware, but the software component, which will allow for, the application will allow for the storing of and capturing of information relative to the operations of the police in all aspects of the operation of the police, in terms of cases and in terms of reports being made, and a range of other information that is critical to allowing the police to better manage and in certain circumstances to prevent the commission of crime.
And that was the Minister for National Security, Ribbon Blackmore. Health Minister Kasani Laville has reaffirmed the government's commitment to strengthen safety measures across all levels of healthcare. Dominica today joins the global community in observing World Patient Safety Day 2025 under the theme Safe Care for Every Newborn and Every Child. Minister Laville also called on Dominicans to view patient safety as a shared national responsibility.
Active community engagement, empowering parents and caregivers to understand their rights, their roles, and the importance of safe health practices. It is our commitment as the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services and the Dominica Hospitals Authority that we will continue to strengthen safety measures across all levels of healthcare. As Minister of Health, Wellness and Social Services, I urge all Dominicans to see patient safety not simply as a policy, but as a personal duty and responsibility. Every child deserves a safe beginning. Every family deserves the absolute confidence in the care that they receive. And every healthcare worker deserves the tools and support required to ensure good quality health outcomes. On this World Patient Safety Day 2025, let us renew our shared commitment patient safety from the start. It is not only a theme, it is a sacred and shared commitment. On that, we must keep every newborn Dominican, every Dominican child, and every Dominican generation to come safe. When we protect the smallest among us, we protect the future of Dominica.
And that was Health Minister Kasani Laville. A series of press conferences as part of the World Creole Music Festival countdown is set to begin tomorrow. The press conferences are being hosted by Discover Dominica Authority and will feature festival sponsors, fringe event organizers, World Creole Music Festival artists, DDA representatives and other stakeholders. Communications and Public Relations Specialist at Discover Dominica Authorities, Monil Alexis.
The Discover Dominica Authority will host a series of weekly press conferences beginning Thursday, September 18th at 10 a.m. at the ground floor of their office in Roseau. The sessions will feature festival sponsors, fringe event organizers, artists, and partners sharing the latest updates and announcements ahead of the 25th World Creole Music Festival, October 24th to the 26th. All press conferences will be streamed live on the Dominica Festival's Facebook page and covered by partner media houses. Stay tuned for big reveals, festival insights, and behind-the-scenes details as Dominica builds momentum towards this milestone celebration.
Communications and Public Relations Specialist at the Discover Dominica Authority, Mona Alexis, taking us to the end of this evening's National Focus. Up next is news from the region and international.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep this going. Before we will go all in. Hands up in the sky. Celebrate and come let your rhythm flow. DBS News.
And welcome back. Now, news from the region. The Jamaica Constabulary Force has said investigations are ongoing into bomb threats issued to several government offices in late August on the same day as special voting for the recent general elections, as well as vandalism that disrupted telecommunication lines on the day of the September 3 polls. Dennis Brooks, senior communications strategist at the Jamaica Constabulary Force, when asked whether there was a connection between the two incidents, Brooks declined to comment, citing the sensitive nature of both investigations. He, however, noted that the JCF has successfully investigated similar bomb threats in the past, leading to charges and court proceedings, and emphasized that the current investigations will be pursued with the same rigor. Internationally, head of the World Trade Organization said the disruption in trade due to U.S. President Donald Trump's imposition of trade tariffs should be seen as a chance to cut supply imbalances, open new markets, and spur re-globalization. A little over 6 months since Trump began slapping new levies on America's trading partners, WTO Director General said today that nearly 3/4 of global commerce remained governed by WTO rules, despite escalating tariff battles and repeated predictions of the body's demise. The director acknowledged that the world's trading system has been heavily disrupted, but pushed back against claims that the WTO had outlived its relevance. This brings us to the end of this evening's news. Up next is Sports with Gavin Richards.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Flow's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
Well, good evening. I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Evening Sports Report. Let's begin with some track and field news. As the Olympic gold medalist Thea Lafau-Gadson will have a sight set on another gold medal as she competes in the finals of the women's triple jump event at the World Athletics Championships in Japan tomorrow. But Thea Lafau-Gadson will be in a tough field in the women's final. The field includes the world's number 1, Cuba's Leanis Perez Hernandez, and the world number 2, Shanika Ricketts of Jamaica, who've both beaten Thea in various competitions this year. Also in the mix is the world record holder, Rojas of Venezuela, who is back in competition after missing almost a year due to injury. Well, Thea is entering the finals in some good form. She jumped an impressive 14.40 meters in her first jump in the qualifiers on Tuesday, and she finished fourth overall in the qualifiers. Cuba's Leanis Perez Hernandez jumped 14.66 meters to top the qualifiers, and Rojas was second with a jump of 14.49 meters. Well, the women's triple jump finals will get underway at 7:55 tomorrow morning. That's 5 minutes to 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And Thea Lafor Gadsden going in search of a gold medal at the World Athletics Championships. Let's wish her all the best. In some more sports this evening, the head coach of the women's national football team, Ronnie Gustav, says Dominica were outplayed in their defeat to St. Lucia, while the national women's team went down for the second match in a row as the Windward Islands women's tournament continued in St. Vincent last night. St. Lucia dominated throughout the game and had Dominica on the back foot the entire night as they coasted to the 5-0 win.
Well, you could see St. Lucia were much more organized than us, and you could see the level of their players were way above the level of our players. You could see their entire team have the basics, and seeing that they had a few foreign players as well make a big difference in the game.
Mm-hmm. And tactically, what would you say went wrong for us this game?
Well, I think our span of concentration is very short. The girls look like they're not retaining the information that we have been working with for the past month, although that's not sufficient for our national team to be training. But nevertheless, we are in the competition and we're supposed to give a good account of ourselves. But as I have said earlier on previous interviews, is we're trying to build a team, and you cannot build a team just in a month. It's going to take a while. But to sink into certain things that you want, or your philosophy towards the players that you want them to play.
Mm-hmm. And what are the positives that you can take away from tonight's game, despite the loss?
Well, the keeper have always been coming up big for us. You know, I saw a few new players like Anessa Laura. It's her first time playing on that level, and she gave a good account of herself as well this evening. We were disorganized to first say. I'm not pleased with the way we played. The fighting spirit was not there this evening, and we just was not focused as we wanted to be. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of work to be done, not just on the national scene, but the local scene as well.
And that's the head coach of the women's national football team, Ronnie Gustav. Well, Dominica will be back in action again tomorrow when they take on Barbados. That game is set for 5 o'clock in the evening. Let's bring you some cricket news now, as 6 newcomers have been named in the West Indies T20 team to face Nepal in a historical bilateral series starting later this month in the United Arab Emirates. Well, Cricket West Indies has also named Akil Hussain as the West Indies T20 captain for the series. The Nepal series will conclude just a few days before the start of the Test series with India, and as such, a number of the regular first-choice players are unavailable. Rayon Griffith will also serve as a head coach for the series, with the former West Indies coach Otis Gibson serving as the fast bowling consultant. While the West Indies team reads Akil Hussain as the captain, Fabian Allen, Joel Andrew, Akeem Ogis, Navin Bidassi, Jediah Blades, Casey Carty, Karima Gore, Jason Holder, Amir Jangu, Kyle Mayers, Obed McCoy, Zishan Motara, Raymond Simmons, and Shamar Springer. The first T20 against Nepal is set for the 27th of September. And like we said, these games will be played in the United Arab Emirates. In some more sports this evening, national athlete Addison James has received a major boost from the Central Cooperative Credit Union to further pursue his career in athletics. Well, the Central Cooperative Credit Union provided the Carifta Games gold medalist with equipment to aid in his development in the sport of javelin. The treasurer of the board of directors at Central Cooperative Credit Union, Lyle Leslie, says the financial institution is proud to play a role in James's development.
As Dominicans, we all have our part to play in supporting the youth. Central spearheads this through various avenues such as education. A few weeks ago, we would have presented scholarships to several young boys and girls now entering secondary school. Another avenue is through sport, where we already support Mr. Jan Kazmi in cycling and the Dula Football Club, which recently completed an invincible season, winning the DFA Premier League without suffering a single defeat. We also have support of arts like Miss Balsaw in terms of Miss Dominica. And now today we announce our continued support of you, Mr. James, in recognition of your elevation within the field of athletics. I strongly believe that more should be done to support our local athletes in the various track and field disciplines. So this is just one small step. Addison, when you do well, you make all Dominicans proud, but particularly you make the members of Central proud. It is their pooling of funds which grows the credit union and allows us to support promising young people like yourself.
And that's the treasurer of the board of directors at Central Cooperative Credit Union, Lyle Bruni. Meantime, Addison James says he's grateful for the support from the Central Cooperative Credit Union.
My deepest appreciation goes to the entire team of the Central Cooperative Credit Union Limited for their tireless dedication and hard work in making this event a success. Their commitment, belief in me, and the continuing investment of time and resources will never be taken for granted. The new equipment presented today will not only enhance my training, but will also help me to improve and perform at higher levels, both regionally and internationally. I ensure you all that the trust and support you have given me will be reflected in my efforts and progress moving forward.
And that's the national athlete Addison James. Let's go back to cricket news. The Barbados Royals women have retained their women's CPL title with a 3-wicket win over the Guyana Amazon Warriors in the finals this afternoon. Well, Guyana took first knock and made 136 for 3 in their 20 overs. Charmaine Campbell got 28 not out. We had Shamila Cornell getting 1 for 20 and Afi Fletcher 1 for 36. The Barbados Royals, in reply, they made 137 for 7 in 19.4 overs, with Kaisa Knight and Courtney Webb both getting 31 runs each. Barbados Royals won that game by 3 wickets, completing an unbeaten season. Still with news from the CPL, where Nicholas Puran was special, delivering a massive century to power the Trinbago Knight Riders to a big win over the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons in the first eliminator in the Republic Bank CPL last night. Antigua batted first, 166 for 8 in 20 overs was their score. Andres Gauss got a 61, Amir Django 55. We had Andre Russell and Usman Tariq getting 2 wickets each for Trinidad. The Knight Riders then batted their way to 168 for 1 in 17.3 overs, winning by 9 wickets. Nicholas Puran, the captain, got 90 not out. Alex Hales 54. Well, the CPL action continues tonight with the first qualifier, and that's when the defending champions and the top-seeded St. Lucia Kings will take on the second-seeded Guyana Amazon Warriors. The winner of that game will advance to the finals this weekend, while the loser will face the Trinbago Knight Riders in the second qualifier on Friday evening. Speaking of finals, well, we have a finals action on tonight in the DABA Division 1 Basketball League. The Dr. Daru Prishla Sports Club Falcons, they will be looking to take a commanding lead in their final series with the West Coast Ballers. Well, the two teams will meet in Game 2 tonight from 9 o'clock. The Falcons are leading the 5-match series 1-0 following their Game 1 win on the weekend. At 7 o'clock tonight, we will see the Pebo Super Eagles. They'll be taking on the Hilltop Services Prowlers, and that's in the Premier Division. That game gets underway at 7 o'clock. In some volleyball news this evening, the captain of the men's national volleyball team, Jan Flora, says Dominica will not be complacent as they head into the 2025 Eastern Caribbean Volleyball Association's Men's Final Four tournament, which gets underway in Antigua this week. The tournament will also feature Grenada, St. Lucia and Antigua, and it will run from this 19th of September. Dominica finished runners-up in the last competition, and Flora says while the team has been putting in the work on the court, and of course he's hoping that they will be victorious.
Training has been going excellent, I must say. We have a bunch, well, we don't have a bunch, but we have technically the same group of guys. and we have 3 newcomers. Training, right now we're just basically sharpening up our mistakes, I would say. Things we basically need to have to win certain games, so we're just doing a scrimmage right now.
I'm looking at the team and I can see a lot of tall guys, and I'm sure that's going to be an added advantage for you at the net. So let's talk to me about some of the big guys that you have up front.
The big guys that we have up front right now making a huge difference, I must say, because normally it's always basically just 1, 2, but right now we have at least 4 tall guys and they are very athletic.
All right, let's talk about Dominica's chances coming up as second place finish in the last ECA Volleyball Championship. So, how are you guys feeling heading into the competition?
We feeling confident because not to say we haven't been there, we have been there already. We know what the competition rules. And like I say, the youth on my team right now is the key aspect of the game right now.
All right, you're going to be playing against Antigua, St. Lucia, and some of the other countries as well. A grudge match as you guys come up against Antigua because they beat you guys in the finals last time around.
Yeah, grudge match. We actually played them on our second match. So we have technically something to prove when we face them.
All right. Finally, Jan, strengths of the team. I know we mentioned about the blockers up front, the big guys up front, but what impresses you the most about this team?
I would say the youth and how athletic those guys are. And right now, before we had our national senior teams, we never used to see us a bunch of jump servers. Right now, we have a few jump servers that can actually score a point when we need them to score a point.
Captain of the men's national volleyball team, Jan Flora, taking us to the end of the DBS Evening Sports Report. Of course, we'll have a lot more sporting highlights for you tomorrow morning during the major morning news. You heard the news, which was presented to you by Hassan Robinson. I brought you the sports. Of course, a quick program note off the field comes on at 7 o'clock this evening. We will be discussing cricket and the West Indies team selected for the India series and also the Nepal series. I know a big talking point has been the exclusion of Dominica's Kavem Hodge, and we'll be taking your phone calls and be discussing that at 7 o'clock this evening. So join us from 7 o'clock for Off the Field. On behalf of the entire News and Sports Department and, of course, our links person, DJ Hillowboy, I'm Gavin Richards saying good evening. Thanks for listening.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life is pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep this going. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Good evening and welcome to the evening edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 17th day of September 2025. We're beginning with this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Death Announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. announced the death of Violet John Baptiste, née Esprit, age 86, of Belfast. She died on Friday, the 29th of August. She was the wife of Franklin. She was the mother of Hyacinth, Sandra, Athenia, and Juliet.